श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वसुदेवसुतम् देवम् कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णम् वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are continuing with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita with a special emphasis on the commentary of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. We are in chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. The yoga which tells us about Purushottama, Paramatma. Why he is called Purushottama, he is going to explain himself. Bhagavan is going to explain himself. Now, how to achieve yoga with that Purushottama, union with that Purushottama. That is the subject. And he started with Samsara Vriksha, Ashwatha Vriksha, which is Samsara, which has its roots above and branches and leaves below. But it appears to be spreading all over the place, right from top to bottom, as if it has roots in earth also. So, one who is able to cut this tree, Asanga Shastrena, with the weapon of non-attachment, will reach that supreme state. So, Jnanis are able to do that. Jnana Chakshushaha. Now, I must introduce Shreya today. Yesterday she joined us. She has contributed to the preparation of slides for this Bhagavad Gita series, and she is the volunteer who has now joined us for chanting the shlokas. Yeah, start me.
Yata yoginashchainam Ashtatmanavasatmanah Nainam Pashyantyachetasah.
There was some confusion in the voice transmission of Shreya. Yoginaha yatantaha cha yenam pashyanti atmani avasthitam yatantaha api akritaatmanaha yenam achayasadaha na pashyanti. He is contrasting yogis with non-yogis. Like in the previous shloka, Vimudha Jnana Chakshushaha. Same thought process is continuing here. Yoginascha, those who are yogis, those who have attained union with Bhagavan, yatantaha, they keep trying. They keep making efforts. It's not as if it is a one-day effort. It's a continuous effort. With continuous effort, Atmani avasthitam pashyanti. They are able to look at Paramatma, who is present in their own Atma, dwelling in the inner Atma, Atmani avasthitam pashyanti, because they have attained that level of yoga. Yatantaha api akritaatmanaha Achetasaha enam na pashyanti yatantaha api. Even though the other group puts in a lot of efforts, akritatmanaha, because their mind is not purified. Akrita atmanaha. Because chitta shuddhi is the first step. We saw that. Karma yoga was meant for achieving chitta shuddhi. Now, having not achieved chitta shuddhi, they have come to progress in jnana marga, which will not help. That is why he is saying akritatmanaha. Those whose minds have not been purified, they make a lot of efforts. Achetataha. They are not able to master their inner self. They are not able to master their Atma. Na enam pashyanti. They don't see the Atma. Achetasaha avivekinaha. Those who have not cultivated the necessary discrimination between reality and non-reality, they are not able to, because they have not purified their minds. Their mind is still clouded with this confusion, with this delusion. So they are not able to achieve. Yatantopi shastradi pramanehi. Even though they have shastra on their side, they have mastered shastra, but still asamskritatmanaha tapasa indriyajayena cha. They have not done enough tapas, they have not done enough conquering of their sense organs, so their minds are not purified. Yuscharitat, so their conduct is still not pure. Ashanta darpaha, their arrogance, their conceit is not still completely off. Prayatnam kurvantaha api nayenam pashyanti. Whereas yoginaha samahita chittaha, because their minds are always attached to Paramatma. Ayam aham asmi iti upalabhante. This Paramatma is myself. There is aham brahmasmi. That is their understanding. Atmani swasyam buddhau avasthitam. Their own inner buddhi, they are able to see their Atma. Yatanto yoginashchainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatanto pyakritatmano nainam pasyantya chetasaha.
यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्.
Now, Bhagavan is explaining that supreme state. Natad bhavete suryo, he said. No? So that state is being explained once again in order to expand the glory of Bhagavan within the understanding of the aspirant. Yat adityagatam tejaha, that brilliance which is there in Surya, tejaha deeptihi prakashaha. Jagat, akhilam jagat bhasayate. It is able to throw light on the entire world. It lights up the entire world. Yati Chandramasi, Yatcha Agnav, Yati Chandramasi, the same light which is there in Chandra, the same light which is there in Agni, Tat Tejaha, all that light, with the Mamakam, understand that it is all coming from me. They don't have any source of light themselves. All light comes from me. Now, this light can be also interpreted as Chaitanyatmakam Jyotihi, light in the form of Chaitanya, because they are all not inanimate objects. Surya, Chandra, and Agni, they are all devatas. So, they have their own Chaitanya. So, that Chaitanya is given by me to them. So, that Chaitanya expresses itself in the form of light. Now, why that is the argument of the opposite party? This Tejas is there everywhere. Why only Surya, Chandra, and Agni are singled out? That is the question. Now, that is answered by Shankara saying, not for exclusivity, but they are major sources of light, because the light is the subject and light is associated with these three. These are the three eyes of Parameshwara also. So, not only that, these three are associated with our bodies. Surya is associated with our eyes. Chandra is associated with our mind. Mind is controlled by Chandra. And Agni is associated with our mouth. Agnirmeva Jashritaha, Veda says. So, three essential devatas are mentioned here as sort of samples because they are the main sources of light, not for exclusively saying that these three only are my manifestations. The entire world is his manifestation. I picked up a couple of नीतिशतकं श्लोकाः पद्माकरं दिनकरो विकचं करोति चन्द्रो विकासयति कैरवचक्रवालं नाभ्यर्थितो जलधरोऽपि जलं ददाति सन्तः स्वयं परहितेषु कृताभियोगाः पद्माकरं दिनकरः विकचं करोति दिनकरः is Surya. Surya, Padmakara is a forest of lotuses, the entire group of lotuses, forest of lotuses, he makes it blossom. The entire group makes it blossom. That is the power of Surya. Similarly, Chandra Vikachayati Kairava Chakravalam. Chandra makes a group of Kairavas, Kumudas, lily flowers. Kairava Chakravalam Kumudini Vrindam. Nabhyarthito Jaladharopi Jalam Dadati. Jaladhara is ocean or cloud, because cloud derives its water from the ocean. So here we should understand it as cloud only, because in this context, abhyarthitaha jaladharaha api jalam dadati. Even though nobody goes and prays to the cloud for water, it goes on showering water. This is the nature of virtuous people. Nabhyarthito jaladharo jalam dadati. Santaha swayam parahiteshu kritabhiyogaha. Virtuous people on their own, swayam, without anybody going to them with a request, with a prayer, on their own. Parahite vihitabhiyogaha, parahiteshu kritabhiyogaha. Their effort is always towards well-being of others. Parahita. Swayameva parakaryaparayanah bhavanti. Then next one is ekena pishurene padakrantam mahitalam kriyate bhaskarene sputam spuritate gasa. Now this shloka is in praise of Surya. He says he is only one. Ekena pishurena. He is very powerful. The entire world, Padakrantam Mahitalam, entire world he spreads his rays, Pada is rays. Entire world he spreads his rays and lights up. Kriyate Bhaskarene. That Bhaskara is able to do this. Sputam Spurita Tejasa. His tejas is coming on its own. Spurita. He is coming out. That brilliance is coming out automatically from Surya, and with that brilliance, he is able to light up the whole world. That is how the poet is admiring the beauty of Surya's brilliance. यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयते अखिलं यच्चन्द्रमति यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्. Next.
कामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः.
Now, having mentioned Surya, Chandra and Agni, how the living beings on earth are also supported by Paramatma. That is the subject he has taken up. So that Paramatma's all-encompassing power must be appreciated. Gam avishya, Gam is the earth. Having entered the earth, Aham ojasa bhutani dharayami. I support, aham dharayami. Whom does he support? Bhutani, all living beings he supports. How? Ojasa, by my inner power. By my inner power, I support all living beings on this earth. For that, he is giving one sample. This is not the exhaustive sample, but one sample he is giving, how he is supporting us. Pushnamika oshadhi sarvaha prasatmakaha somaha bhutva. Prasatmakaha somaha bhutva, having become Chandra, full of essence. Prasatmakaha, full of essence. Swatmarasana sarvarasatmakaha. He is having all the essence which are needed for food grains. Sarvaha oshadhihi pushnami. All food grains, all herbs, food grains as well as herbs, I nourish. Sarvaha oshadhihi pushnami. All food grains, all herbs, I give that nourishment by using Chandra's rays, and that is given by me. Pushnami, I support, I nourish. Actually, Shankara is quoting from Upanishads in support of this statement. Yena Dyaurugra Prathivi Chadrudha from Taittiriya Upanishad. Sadadhara Prathivi. Like this, he has quoted a few statements from Upanishad, mantras from Upanishads. Now, Prithivim Gamavishita Bhudani Dharayami Aham Ojasa can also be interpreted, Shankara has interpreted in another manner. He is supporting the earth itself. Forget the support of the living beings. The earth is hanging in space without falling down, without breaking. Ojasa balena jagat vidharanaya prithivyam avishtam yena prithvi gurvim na adhapatati na vidiryate. It does not fall down, it does not split because of my power. Kamaraga vivarjitam balam aishwaram rupam. What is the power I have? The power is because I do not have kama and raga. That is the interpretation of Shankara. My power is free from desire and attachment. So it has the power to support the earth. It has the power to support the living being. It has the power to support Chandra with his rays, able to nourish all the herbs, all the food grains. Virihi avadyaha oshadhihi. And yes, there is a नीतिशतकं श्लोक राजन् दुसुक्षति यदि क्षतिधेनुमेनां तेनोद्यवत्समिव लोकममुं पुषाणां तस्मिन् स्तु सम्यगनिशं परिपोष्यमाणे नानाफलाफलति कल्पलते भूमिः. He is addressing the king. This poem is addressing the king. He says, if you want to utilize the earth to its full capacity, utilize the power of the earth, Dudukshati Kshitidhenum Enam Kshitidhenum. You imagine the earth in the form of a cow, and then you go and milk the cow. If you want to milk this cow of the earth, actually there is a king called Prithu who did that. It is coming in the Srimad Bhagavatam episodes. Prithu was the king when at that time there was nothing on earth. Nothing, no food, nothing. So he prayed to Bhudevi. So Bhudevi came up with all kinds of gifts, food, etc., etc. And that is known as milking the cow. He milked the cow and then he created oceans, he created water, this, that, everything. Tenodhyavatsamiva lokamamam pushana. So for that, if you want to milk the cow, what you should do? You should protect the citizens. Amam lokam, vatsameva pushana. Like you protect your child, you protect all the citizens, then only the earth will be able to give you all that you need. Tasmaishcha samya ganisham parishuvoshyamane. If the praja, if the citizens are well looked after, well nourished, pariposhyamane, anisham, always, samyak, very well. Nana aphalai phalate kalpalade bhumihi. This earth will shower like kalpalata, like the kalpalata of Deva Bhumi, like Swarga Bhumi is Kalpalata, it will give you whatever you ask. Nana phalaihi phalati. It will give you all kinds of fruit. So, the king's duty of protecting the citizens is mentioned as the cause for the earth to shower its fruits. So, but the earth itself is showering its fruits because of Paramatma's ojas. That is the subject. गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः.
अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्.
Now, having produced the food grains, having given you food, you should be able to digest, isn't it? All living beings are able to digest whatever food they eat, and they are able to convert that food into energy. That power of digestion and conversion is the subject of this shloka. He says, look at the detail to which Bhagavan goes. Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhutva. I become Vaishwanara. Vaishwanara is the fire in the belly. The fire in the belly. The Agni in the belly. That is also called Jathara Agni. Another name is Jathara Agni. The Agni in the Jathara. So, I become that Agni, Praninam Deham Ashritaha. I go and reside in the body of all living beings, not only human beings, Praninam, all Prani. I go and take my place in their body in the form of Agni in the belly. Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Chaturvidham Annam. Together with Prana and Apana, there are five vital airs which are supporting this digestion process, not just Agni. Agni along with air, air in the form of five, Prana, Apana, Vyana, Kamana and Udana. In fact, there are five more which are again subsidiary, five more airs of the Devadatta, etc. Now, he is quoting the main two, Prana and Apana, because they are the main two vital airs which are required for this process of digestion. The other vital airs are required for various other purposes, spreading all over the body, excrement, etc., etc. Prana apana samayuktaha. Together with the prana and apana vital airs, chaturvidham annam pachami. I digest four kinds of food. Shastra describes our food in the form of four types. Chatushprakaram. Bhojyam, bhakshyam, choshyam, leishyam cha. Shankara himself explains. Bhojyam is something which you masticate with your teeth. That is bhojyam. Bhakshyam, you just swallow. Leishyam, you lick like honey. Choshyam, suck. There are some foods which have to be sucked, some fruits, etc. So all the four kinds of food, that which is to be masticated, that which is to be swallowed, that which is to be licked, that which is to be sucked, all these four kinds of food. Chaturvidham. I am the one who digests in the form of Vaishwanara, supported by Prana and Apana. That is the subject of this shloka. Now, Shankara goes one step ahead and he says, whatever food we take, he is using this context for explaining another Shastra principle. Whatever food we take, there could be anna dosha, there could be fault in preparation of the food, etc., etc., the sourcing of the food, preparation of the food, serving of the food. There are rules which are governing all this, but sometimes those rules are broken. So Annadosha results. Now Annadosha also you can escape if you look at this process the way Bhagavan has explained. Bhokta Vaishwanaraha Agnihi. Agnehe Bhojyam Annam Somaha. Tadetat Ubhayam Agnishomo Sarvam. Iti Pashyataha. Annadosha Lepaha Na Bhavati. When you look at the food, not for taste, but as an offering to the Agni. That is the point that Shankara is making. You are offering, in fact, that is how it is called pranahuti. We do parishechanam, isn't it? When we start taking the food. That parishechanam is prana ahuti. It is the offering to the Agni supported by prana. So he says here, Bhokta Vaishwanaraha Agnihi. I am not the enjoyer. It is for the sake of Vaishwanara Agni. Agnehe Bhojyam Annam Soma. Whatever food I am eating is like Soma for Agni. In the Soma Yaga, what is offered to Agni is Soma, the essence of the Soma leaves. So he says, similarly, this is equivalent to that Soma. Tate tate ubhayam Agni Shomo Sarvam. So whatever I eat is Agni and Soma, nothing else. If you keep this attitude in mind, Annadosha lepaha na bhavati. You will not be victim of Annadosha. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्.
Now he is continuing to explain the glory of Paramatma. Sarvatya cha sridi aham sannivishtaha. I am present in the hearts of all living beings, sarvasya, with no exception. Hridi in the hearts, sannivishtaha. I have taken my place there. I am seated properly, sannivishtaha. I am seated properly in the hearts of all living beings. And because I am seated there in the hearts of all living beings, Mattasprati Jnanam Apohanam cha, from me, these powers of memory, knowledge, apohanam, forgetfulness, because certain things have to be forgotten, otherwise our life will not proceed. Forgetting is also a power. That is why he is bringing that here. Like memory is a power, like knowledge is a power. Forgetting is also required. If you start remembering all your occasions of grief, you will not be able to progress. So he says, from me only, these powers have come to you. The power of smriti, memory, the power of jnana, the power of knowledge, power of apohanam, forgetting. Vedesya sarvair ahameva vedyaha. Sarvaihi vedaihi. All Vedas, through all Vedas, who is to be known. Veda itself is coming from the root vid, to know. So who is to be known through these Vedas, which are sources of knowledge? Ahame Vavedyaha, only I am the person to be known. There is nothing else to be known. Don't get confused. Because Veda talks about crores of things. Don't get deluded, don't get confused. It talks about yaga, it talks about Sargaloka, it talks about Naraka, it talks about so many things. It talks about Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra also has its roots in Veda. So don't get confused with all that. They are all steps for reaching me. And what is the goal? Ahame Vedyaha. I am the only entity to be known through all the Vedas. Vedanta Krit, Veda Vide Vacha Aham. Aham Vedanta Krit. I am the author of Vedanta. Vedanta is Upanishad. Jnana-kanda of the Vedas, where Paramatma is being described, glorified. The methods of attaining Paramatma are dwelt in detail through various stories, through various Upadeshas of various gurus to various Shishyas. All this comes from Upanishads. That is Vedanta. Who created this Vedanta? I only created this Vedanta. Vedanta Kriti. Now, for Vedanta Kriti, Shankara has extended the meaning to include Vedantartha Sampradaya Kriti. That means the meaning of Vedanta you cannot gain by reading the books unless you go through a guru. So Guru Parampara is required. Yeah. There is a standard Advaita Guru Parampara through whom Advaita knowledge has come to us. If the Guru Parampara did not exist, Advaita knowledge would not have come to us, though you might read thousands of books. That is the point Shankara is making. So this Guru Parampara is also created by Bhagavan. We have this kind of prayer whenever Upanishad is being taught. That prayer itself is explanatory of this Guru Parampara. ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यः ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यः वंश ऋषिभ्यः महद्भ्यः नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः सत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि. That is how the prayer starts when you start reading the Upanishad or when you conclude the study of the Upanishad. I prostrate to all the gurus, all the Vamsha Rishis, all those who created this Sampradaya, Brahma Vidya Sampradaya, right from Brahma himself, Brahmadibhyaha. This knowledge has come to me without any dilution. Sarvopaplavarahitaha, prajnanaganaha, pratyagarthaha. Now I have imbibed that essence in me. So I have considered myself Brahma. Pratyagartho Brahmaiva Samasmi. We have our Guru Parampara, very famous shloka, all of us know it. Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtham Shaktim Cha Tatputra Parasaram Cha Vyasam Shukam Gauda Padam Mahantam Govinda Yogendra Mathasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padma Padancha Hasta Malagancha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaramanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi. So this is the list of all our Advaita Sampradaya Gurus, starting from Narayana, Brahma, Padma Bhuvam, Vasishta, Shakti, etc. Then up to Shuka, it is the father-son relationship. From Shuka onwards, it is Guru-Shishya relationship. After Shuka, Gaudapada comes, Govindapada, and then Shankaracharya, and our Guru Parampara, starting from Shankaracharya up to the present Acharya, Asmat Guru, Santatam Anatosmi. This is the standard Guru Parampara in our Advaita practice. Vedanta Kriti, Veda Vide Vachaham. I am the knower of Vedas. I am the author of Vedantas. I am the knower of Vedas means actually Bhagavan's breath, Bhagavan's breath is supposed to be Vedas. Yasya Nishwasitam Vedaha. Veda itself says this. Paramatma's breath is Veda. So he says, Just as everyone knows his breath. Is there anyone who does not know his breath? I don't know whether I am breathing or not. Can anybody say that? No. Similarly, Bhagavan is the only knower of all the Vedas in all their extent. That is why he says, Veda Videvachaham. This is mentioned in Mahabharata also. Sangopangani yascha vedana diyate veda vedyam na janite veda bharavamohitaha. A person has studied all the Vedas, Sangopangani, with all the Angas and Upangas. There are 6 Angas, there are 6 Upangas. So he has studied all of them. But if he does not know the goal of all these Vedas, because he says, Vedescha sarvair ahameva vedyaha. If he does not know Bhagavan, he is only carrying the load of Vedas. Just as an animal would carry a load, what is the use from the load which the animal is carrying? There is no use for that animal. Similarly, this Veda becomes the load. Veda bharavaho kisaha, Veda vedyam na janite. Vedanta vit, Vedanta krit is mentioned here. Vedanta vit is mentioned in Viveka Chodamani. Uhapoha vichakshanaha. That means one who has understood the logic, the argument behind Vedanta. That is Vedanta vit. So because he says Veda vit includes Vedanta vit. So he says, if you are able to understand through logic, the Shakti of logic is given to you by Bhagavan, use that and understand. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्च अक्षर एव च. There are 2 Purushas in this world. One is called Kshara, another is called Akshara. Who are these 2? Ksharati iti Ksharaha, Vinashi iti Eko Rashihi. That means one is always subject to destruction. That is why it is called Kshara. One entity is called Kshara. Another entity is called Akshara. Now, Akshara is a term which we have been using for Paramatma. Here, Akshara he is not using for Paramatma, he is using for Maya Shakti. Aksharaha tad viparitaha bhagavataha Maya Shakti. The first is samsara, which is always subject to change and subject to destruction. That is Ksharaha. The Akshara is the one which creates this samsara, Maya Shakti, that is never changing, that is never subject to destruction, because it is the eternal power of Paramatma. So that is called Akshara. So there are now 2 entities which are associated with this world. Purusha Loke, associated with this world. 2 Purushas are there. One is Kshara, another is Akshara. One is Samsara, another is. Why Samsara is called a Purusha? Because there is a power, isn't it? A single power which is behind this Samsara. So that power is Maya Shakti. That Maya Shakti is Akshara, but the the manifestation of that power, which is also another Purusha, is ever changing, ever destroying. Kshara sarvani bhutani, bhutastho akshara uchyate. Now he has explained it himself. Sarvani bhutani ksharaha, all beings which are on this universe, which are in this universe, all of them are subject to destruction. What is Akshara? Kutastha Akshara Uchyate. Kutastha is immovable. Meaning of Kutastha is immovable. In fact, there are several meanings of Kutastha which Shankara is bringing out. Kutastha also, Kuta also has got a sense of Maya, Vanchana, Kutilata. These are all the meanings. The cheating power, the power of hiding, concealing. This is all Shakti of Maya. So that is mentioned as Kota, Kota Saha. Maya Shakti, which has all these elements, is called Akshara. Kotastha is also a term used for Paramatma, but here in this context, the whole subject is Samsara and Maya Shakti, not Samsara and Paramatma. Because Paramatma is taken up in the next shloka. Because there is a distinction between Purusha and Purushottama. So Purusha refers to two entities. One is the Maya Shakti, second is the created Samsara, which is also eternal. Samsara is eternal, beginningless and endless. That is why it is called the Purusha. Maya Shakti is called Kutastha. In another commentator explains it very nicely. He says, Kota also means, Kota has got several meanings. Kota also means the anvil of the blacksmith. In the anvil of the blacksmith, you create so many items of iron, so many different items of iron, but the anvil doesn't change. Similarly, Maya Shakti by itself does not change, does not undergo any change, but what it produces keeps changing. So that is why it is called Kotastha. That is another explanation, but giving the same meaning. द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते
उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेति दाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः
अन्यः उत्तमः पुरुषः परमात्मा इति उदाहृतः अन्यः different from these two, different from the Maya Shakti, different from the created universe. There is another entity, Anyaha Purushaha, Uttamaha. He is superior to these two because he controls these two. One who is controlling is always superior, isn't it? The officer who is controlling in the office is superior to the person whom he is controlling, isn't it? So similarly, he is Uttama Purushaha. And what is his name? His name is Paramatma. Paramatma iti udahritaha. He is called Paramatma. Yo lokatrayam avishya vivarti avyayaha Ishwaraha. He is the Ishwara for all the worlds. He is Paramatma when creation has not happened, when all these or living beings, all the created world is in a sukshma form inside him, then he is Paramatma. When he has created the universe, he becomes the Ishvara. So he is the Ishvara, Lord of all the worlds, Avyayaha. While the world keeps changing, he never changes. He is Avyaya. That point is always continuously being made, like Kshara and Akshara. Universe keeps changing, so don't attach yourself to changing universe, attach yourself to the unchanging Bhagavan. That is the message being conveyed repeatedly. So he says, Ishvara is Avyaya, unchanging. Lokatrayam Avishya. He enters all the three worlds. It's not as if he is supporting the three worlds from outside. This is the very important point being made in the Upanishads, which we have seen again and again. Bhagavan is not an entity who is operating from outside. No, he is operating from inside. Having created the universe, he enters the universe. This point has been made repeatedly in Upanishads. That point is now coming up. Yaha lokatrayam avishya. Avishya means he is entering. He is entering the universe. Bhurbhuva Swarakhyam Lokatrayam. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. These three universes. I mean, all the universes are mentioned in the form of three. Swakiyaya Chaitanya Balashakya Avishya. How he enters? Because of his Chaitanya power. Vibharti, he supports. Having entered, he supports. He bears the weight. Vibharti means bearing the weight, supporting. Swarupa Sadbhava Matrena Vibharti Dharayati. By his very presence, he does not have to exert himself. Now, if we have to support, we have to exert any kind of support. It may be monetary support, it may be physical support, it may be any support for which you have to exert. But Bhagavan, there is no exertion. By his very presence, Swarupa Sadbhava Matrena Vibharti. Ishvaraha, Sarvajnaha, Narayanakshaha, Ishana Shilaha, given to being the Lord, Lordship. Paramatma, he is explaining, Shankara is explaining. Paramascha asau dehadyavidyakritaatmabhyaha atma cha sarvabhutanam pratyakshayatanaha. Because he is beyond avidya, which is associated with deha, with body, he is Parama. He is superior to all this, which are associated with the body. And what is Atma? Atma is the power which is running the body. Atma cha sarvabhutanam pratyakshayatanaha. The Chaitanya Shakti which is present in the body and which is energizing the body and which is superior to the body, that is Paramatma. That is the meaning of the word Paramatma as enunciated by Shankara. उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्ययमीश्वरः. Now, udahritah has been typed wrongly in this slide. Uda, not udha. The third da. Anyway, next.
यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः.
यस्मात् क्षरम् अक्षरादपि aham atitaha uttamaha. He said uttama purushaha. He said he is superior to kshara and akshara. Why he is superior? He is explaining. Yasmate atitaha aham aksharaadapi cha uttamaha. Since I am superior to kshara as well as akshara, I am called uttama purusha. Uttama to what? Superior to what? He is explaining that. He is linking the previous two shlokas. So he says, I am superior to what was described as kshara, which is samsara, and what was described as akshara, which is the Maya Shakti. Since I am superior to both kshara and akshara, I am purushottama because I defined those two as purushas. So I am superior to both of them. So I am supreme, purusha uttamaha. Ataha loke vede cha prachitaha purushottamaha asmi. In this world, I am known as Purushottama. In the Veda also, I am known as Purushottama. Prachitaha means I am famous. I am famously referred to as Purushottama in the world, in the created world, as well as in the Vedas, which are eternal, which are my life breath. The created world, the uncreated life breath of Bhagavan, both refer to him as Purushottama because he is superior to the Kshara Samsara and Akshara, which is Maya. Samsara Maya Vriksha Bija Bhutadapi cha Uttamaha. Because he described the Samsara Vriksha as Ashwatha Vriksha, and the seed of the Ashwatha Vriksha is that Maya Shakti. So I am superior to the seed as well as the tree. That is why Ksharaksharaabhyam Uttamatvat. Kavayah Kavyadishu cha idam nama nibadhanti Purushottama yati anena abhidhanena abhigrananti. Even the poets, because poets are supposed to be the greatest intellectuals according to our Shastra tradition. That is why we always quote from Kalidasa and other poets, because whatever they speak is the truth. So he says, even the poets call me Purushottama because of this reason. Of course, devotees call me as Purushottama. So, यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपितोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च रचितः पुरुषोत्तमः.
यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत.
Now, you have to know who is Purushottama and you have to align yourself with Purushottama, then only you can be called liberated soul. So that point, now that is our goal. So he is coming to that point. Why he was describing all this, Kshara, Akshara, Purushottama, etc. In order to overcome our attachment to Kshara, Akshara, etc. And in order to develop our desire to attach ourselves to Purushottama, all this was described. So he is now concluding that way. Yaha evam mam asammudha purushottamam janati. Asammudha, not getting clouded with delusion. Sammoha varjitaha, free from delusion. Evam, in this manner, in the manner which I have described in the previous slokas, Yaha mam purushottamam janati, the one who knows me as Purushottama, he understands who is Purushottama. Saha sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena. Saha sarvavid. Having known me, he has known everything. There is nothing for him to be left to be known. So he says sarvavid. Saha sarvavid. He is the knower of everything. And what does he do? Sarva bhavena mam bhajati. He always worships me in all ways. Sarva bhavena means in all ways. That is, sometimes I worship, sometimes I don't worship. In particular circumstance, I worship. In a particular circumstance, I don't worship. That is not the case. The case is at all times, under all circumstances, in all manner, sarva bhave, in all manner, people worship me. That person worships me, who is free from delusion and who has understood who is Purushottama, and he worships me because he wants to identify himself with Purushottama at all times. Asammudha, dehendriyadishu aham mama yati buddhihi yasya saha sammudha. Who is Sammudha and who is Asammudha? Shankarananda Saraswati explained. Sammudha is one who is deluded. What is the delusion? I am this body, I am the sense organ. My possession is this sense organ, this sense object. If that is your intellect, then you are deluded man. Tad vilakshanaha asammudaha dehadau aham mama bhave vinirmuktaha. As opposed to this person, this non-deluded person, asammudaha, deha, etc., he does not find any sense of association, any sense of ownership. Aham mama. Aham is identity, mama is ownership. We are always between these two. I am somebody, I own something. This is our attitude. So I am this body, I own the sense organs, or I own the sense objects, my house, my possessions. So if you are freed from this, then only you are free from delusion. Asammudha. Shvetashvatara Upanishad says this. Eko deva sarvabhuteshu gudhaha sarvavyāpi sarvabhūtāntarātmā karmadhyaksha sarvabhūtādivāsaha sakshi cheta kevalo nirgunascha. Very beautiful description of Paramatma in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. He is the only one, Eko Devaha. Sarvabhuteshu gudhaha. He is hiding inside gudhaha. He is not easy to find. He is hiding inside all living beings. Sarvavyapi. He is present everywhere. Sarvabhuta antaratma. He is the one who is guiding all living beings residing inside. Karma Adhyakshaha. He is presiding over all your karmas. He is giving you the power to do your karmas and he is watching what karmas you are doing. Sarva Bhota Divasaha. He is residing always in all living beings. Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. Though he is free from any guna, sattva rajas sama gunas, he is watching Sakshi. He is the mind. He is giving you the power of the mind. Though he is all alone, he is not attached to any of this power. He is all alone. Kevalaha. There is a similar shloka from another Prakarana Grantha of Adi Shankara, Jivan Muktananda Lahari. He says, कदाचित् जागृत्यां विषयकरणैः ते व्यहरन् कदाचित् स्वप्नस्थानपि च विषयानेव च भजन् कदाचित् सौषुप्तं सुखमनुभवन्नेव सततं मुनिर्न व्यामोहं भजति गुरुदीक्षा क्षततमाः. A Muni whose darkness has taken leave of him because of the grace of the Guru, Guru Diksha Kshatatamaha. Because of the grace of the Guru, all his darkness has taken leave of him, and when he is awake, he is enjoying the sense objects like an ordinary person. Kadachit Jagrityam Vishaya Karanaihi Sevyaharan. He is using the sense objects, he is enjoying he is using the sense organ, he is enjoying the sense object. Sometimes he has also dreams. In the dream also he is enjoying those sense objects which are coming up in the dream. Sometimes he is in deep sleep like ordinary people. And whatever ordinary people enjoy deep sleep, the pleasure of deep sleep, he is also going through that pleasure. But what is the difference? So far there has been no difference. What is the difference? Satatam munirna vyamoham bhajati guru diksha kshatatamaha. Because of the grace of the Guru, his darkness has left him, so he never gets deluded. Munihi na vyamoham bhajati. He never gets deluded, whether he is awake, whether he is in the dream state, or whether he is in the deep sleep state. That is the difference between a Muni and us, ordinary beings. So that is what is being referred to in this shloka. Vyomamevamasammudho janati purushottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata.
इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतत् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत.
Now he is concluding this shloka, this chapter, by calling this chapter as Shastra. He has not used the word Shastra for any other chapter because this chapter has given the essence of the highest knowledge. Iti Guhyatamam Shastram, the most esoteric, the most secretive Shastra. Idam, this Shastra, Maya Uktam, has been spoken by me. Hey Anagha, because you are free from sins, I have spoken this to you. Anagha means one who is free from sins. So because you are free from sins, this Shastra has been spoken by me to you, and this Shastra is the most secretive, the most esoteric. And what is the benefit of this Shastra? Etad buddha buddhiman syat kritakrityachya bharata. Buddhiman, one who is using his intellect in the right way, he is buddhiman. Etat buddha, having understood whatever I have covered in this chapter, in this Shastra, etat buddha, having understood this, buddhiman, that intellectual, kritakrityaha syat, he has performed what is necessary to be performed in this life. Understanding this is the very purpose of this life. and you will be known as Kritakritya. You have done your duty if you have understood this, otherwise not. That is the sense he is conveying. The falsity of samsara and the reality of Parabrahma state, not lit by Surya, lighted by Surya at all, attainable only through Tattva Jnana, that is got through Bhagavad Bhakti. This is mentioned by a commentator. This is got through Bhagavad Bhakti, through Tattva Jnana, and you understand the falsity of samsara, because that is a summary of this chapter. The falsity of samsara and the reality of this Parabrahma state. If you don't have this jnana, you will be subject to transmigration, going and coming back. So you should know Atma is distinct from body and Atma is Sat Chit Anandaha. I picked up a few Niti Shatakam shlokas. प्रसह्य मणिमुद्धरेन् मकरवक्त्रदंष्ट्राङ्कुरात् समुद्रमपि तन्तरे प्रचलदूर्मिमालाकुलम् भुजङ्गमपि कोपितम् चिरति पुष्पवद्धारयेन् न तु प्रतिनिविष्टमूर्खजनचक्रमाराधयेत्. That is, never try to be in the company of fools. That was the subject which has been taken up by Bhartrahari in several shlokas. So I picked up a couple of them here. प्रसह्य मणिमुद्धरेण मकरवक्त्रदंष्ट्राङ्कुरात्. If you are forced to extract a gem from the mouth of a fish, makara fish, a crocodile, then you better do that. Don't go and go to the company of evil people or stupid people. Samudramapi santaret prachadurmimalakulam. If you have to cross the ocean full of terrible waves, do that. Bhujangamapi kopitam shirati pushpavadharayet. A serpent is itself dangerous, and kopitam, when that serpent is very angry, that angry serpent you put on your head like a pushpa, like a flower, like a decoration. Even that, if you have to do that. But don't do this murkha sangha, natu pratinivishta murkha janachittam aradayete. Similarly, one more. लभेत सिकतासु तैलमपि यत्र तस्पीडयन्ने पिबेक्ष मृगतृष्णिकासु सलिलं पिपासार्जितः कदाचिदपि पर्यटन् शशविषाणमासादयेत् न तु प्रतिनिविष्टमूर्खजनचित्तं हरारयेत्. If you are forced to extract oil from sand, it is impossible. If you are forced to do that, do that. Vivekya mrigatrishnikasu salilam pipasarjitaha. You are overcome with terrible thirst and you are asked to take the water from Mirage in the desert. Do that. No, though you know there is no water there. Kadachidapi paryatan shashavishanam asadayet. This is a standard example given in Vedanta, Shashishringa. That means if it is Shashi Vishana, it should be taken as Shashi Shringa. If it is Shasha Vishana, also you can take the same meaning. That means the Shringa of a Shashi, the Shringa of a Shashi. Shashi does not have a Shringa. Shashi is an animal, the fox. It does not have a Shringa. So if you think that you have to get hold of the Shringa of a Shachi, that means you have to do something impossible. You go and do that. Somebody gives you an order. Better you do that. Natu pratinivishtam murkha janachittam aradhayete. Don't ever cultivate the association of stupid people. So, because he said buddhima, So that is the effect of using your buddhi to avoid that stupid company so that your goal is achieved. इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रमिदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत इति श्रीमहाभारते शतसाहस्र्यां संहितायां वैयासिक्यां भीष्मपर्वणि श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः. So this is the conclusion of the 15th chapter. We will take up the 16th chapter next week, next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. IST as usual. Any questions?
Those who have
Yes.
questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video and ask questions. Please turn on your video, unmute yourself and ask questions.
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Vedas, can ladies do Vedas, sir? Will they let us teach and can we learn Vedas?
What is that? Say it again.
Can ladies learn Vedas?
No. Ladies are not supposed to learn Vedas as per Shastras, but whatever is conveyed, whatever is required for us, has already been conveyed in Bhagavad Gita. What is required for us, that is the purpose of this Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Bhagavan himself has said it in another place that because Vedas are out of bounds for certain people, this Gita will come to their aid. He has said that. Mahabharata says it repeatedly. So there is no need for us to go to Vedas to understand this. The essence of Vedas has already been given here.
Will it be wrong in this age if, let's say, men obviously do a lot of traditional way of learning Veda? That is not possible for ladies, but there are Veda books available outside. And will it be wrong if we take those Veda books and read?
There is no need. Repeated assertion of Shastra is, why are you after something for which you are not eligible? There is no need, because your goal will be reached by the same process, which process has been given to you. So everyone, Swadharma, we have emphasized Swadharma in an earlier chapter, chapter 3. This is Swadharma. Everyone has to follow his Swadharma, and if you follow your Swadharma, you will reach the same goal. So don't try to follow Paradharma Sanishtitat Bhayavaha. Bhagavan says that. So it is very dangerous to follow another man's dharma, follow your dharma, and you will reach the same goal. He is giving the assurance. So I think you should not try to take shortcuts.
It's just that curiosity. Many times people refer a lot of Vedas, Mandokopanishad, or a very short, something short. There are very interesting stories also, which are even Upanishads. Can we do Upanishads?
Yeah, you can read the essence of the Upanishad. There are stories, there are books explaining what Upanishad says. Even translations of Upanishads are available.
Yeah.
You can read all of them. What you should not do is reading of the mantra, Upanishad mantra. Upanishad is also a Veda mantra. So that we are prohibited. Otherwise, nobody stops us from reading the translation, understanding the essence of the Upanishads. Nobody stops us. There are a lot of books in various languages.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No other questions, Guruji.
Yeah, we close for the day. We meet again next Saturday, 7:30 p.m. IST. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadev Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Raja Rajeshwari Jaya Jaya.
Thank you, Guruji.